with everything that's been going on. Anyway, we saw game number 1 going down in favor of ArT, who was able to pull off the win by overwhelming Goblin with early Stalker pressure. And let's see if game number 2 is similar. Spawning in the bottom left-hand side in the red, representing Team Roddy, it is our Croatian Protoss player, Goblin.
And his opponent in the top right-hand side, representing Alpha X and leading the series, he is the blue Protoss player from Poland. It's ArT. Creighton, I have you literally full size on my second monitor. My second monitor is a 40-inch TV. You're like life size in front of me. It's beautiful.
It must be glorious. I'm so happy to hear that, Grant. I hope that I can live up to all of your expectations.
Always. Okay, so getting into game 2, as we can see here, both players are going very standard so far. There are nothing going fun. No forges, no proxy gateways yet. Usually after the second gateway, the probes will move out, and that's when they'll begin looking for something a little bit spicy. Now we're just making sure everything is good. Am I really not? No, I am, Creighton, I am.
You what?
I just saw your message saying I'm not deleted, but I definitely am.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, you're good. You're good.
Cool. Now,
so
we do... Yeah, don't worry. We see... so far, it looks like pylons are going down at home. This is the first time I've seen Goblin really macro. I don't know why, and I love Goblin, and if he watches this back, Leon, I'm really sorry. I don't know why Goblin's been trying to be so aggressive every matchup, because he's so good. Like, in terms of Protoss and pure mechanics, he's one of the best in Europe. So maybe he's just not too confident in his form right now. But this isn't the Goblin we all are used to. One thing I will say, this is looking to be a pretty standard game. Stargate going down for Goblin at home. Twilight going down for ArT at the other end of the map, also at home. And there are no proxies.
No proxies, which is very strange in a Goblin game. So we'll see how he does to play this thing out. Again, we see Goblin opening Stargate first. Again, we see Twilight first out of ArT. And yeah, just the same as last game, just everything in the bases rather than proxied out. I think this probably favors ArT. Blink Stalkers, of course, very good against those... Blink Stalkers, of course, very good against the Phoenix that I'm sure ArT suspects coming out of Goblin. These are two guys who have played each other on the ladder, on tournaments, online, over and over again, hundreds of times. And whoa, it's not going to be Phoenix first out of Goblin.
No, this is nice. Goblin mixing up a little bit is going to open with an Oracle. He's probably very much aware that his opponent is expecting Phoenixes, and Goblin's a smart bloody kid. He knows that if he can trick his opponent and pick up a slight lead, he'll be okay. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a second Oracle even follow this up. Is that going to be the case, or is he just going to stick with one? He's going to add on a Robo. And yeah, it looks like Goblin's going to be a little bit more creative. Neither player has expanded yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Goblin throw his down right now. And that is going to be the case.
Yeah, good call. So Goblin is going to take that natural just a little bit earlier, but ArT posturing as though he may want to grab one as well. I'm just not sure yet, but we see that first Oracle coming around the south side of the map is going to move up into the main base of ArT and hopefully get some damage done. Where has it gone? There it is.
It's right at the edge. So hard to see. Wait, I'll spin my
Goodness
camera.
Gracious.
Where is he? Where's he gone? You can't even spin in the camera find him.
Yeah, the camera is so weird sometimes in the corner of the map. But there are a metric crap ton of Stalkers here, and ArT looks like he is not going to expand. He is just going crazy with these Stalkers right now. Robo on the way.
Yeah, and Goblin pulled some of the Stalkers out of position then, but he didn't strike with his Oracle at the same time. I believe he lost an Adept as well. Yeah, he did lose an Adept, and he's only killed one probe, so not fantastic here for Goblin. And ArT is doing the exact same thing he did in Game 1. He is producing nothing but lots and lots of gateways, lots of units. It is free gate blink with a proxy pylon, possibly even a proxy gateway to go down. And he is looking here for damage. Now, can Goblin see this pylon to the south? Yes. Very, very nice pick up here. He can catch that Warpling Stalker. He now knows what's coming his way. He knows this is aggression, and ArT has to improvise, adapt, and overcome, because Goblin can now set up defensively.
And set up defensively, indeed, he can. Stasis Ward going down. He's got the second shield battery coming down as well. And there's an Immortal here already. Now with Blink, ArT can hope to dive on top of that Immortal and maybe snipe it down, but it's not going to, he doesn't have quite enough Stalkers here to be, it doesn't have quite enough Stalkers here to one-shot the Immortal, I don't think. No. So if the shield battery overcharge happens, oh my god, he's going to go for the shield battery first. Beautiful play there from ArT.
The Stasis Ward, though.
Sets off the Stasis Ward, holy crap!
Goblin's second Immortal comes down the ramp right now. Oracle's joining the fray, looking to see if they can find any damage. The shield battery completes now, and GG, Goblin takes its first map of the tournament.
Wow, a well-earned win there. Goblin scouting out that forward pylon, seeing what was coming, prepping adequately, and getting that second Immortal at just the right time. So we're finally going to go into Goblin's first, as you said, first map win of the tournament, and the second Game 3 of the day.
Yep, and I'm so glad he finally did it, because it's such a mental block for anyone when you've just not been able to get it, when it's just loss after loss after loss. So now he finally has found what he needs to find. He got his first map win. Now it's time for his first series win.
I agree completely. He's such a good player. I'd love to see him grab this map, even at the expense of my teammate ArT. I think Goblin's a good player. And going 0-5 in this tournament is not representative of his overall skill level.
No.
Now, ArT, is, as we said, is at 1-3 right now. Desperately needs this win. Does not want to fall into the 1-4 gap. And interestingly, actually, if Goblin wins this, ArT is going to be at 2-9, and Goblin will be at 2-8.
Yep.
No, they'll both be at 2-8. So yeah, whoever wins this, wait. If Goblin wins, he'll be ahead of ArT in the standings. If ArT wins, he'll be obviously Goblin will be he'll be mathematically eliminated from the tournament. So
yes,
big effort here from both players. But we're getting into Game 3 now, and
yes. And in the top right-hand corner of Eternal Empire, he is the Blue Protoss player from Croatia, representing Team Rotti. He's just a great guy. If you've never met him, I'd say buy him a beer, but he's like 12, so don't do that. He is the Blue Protoss. It's Goblin.
And his opponent on the bottom left-hand side, my teammate from Alpha X. It is our Polish Protoss player. His name is ArT.
ArT, named after SOS, has the SOS portrait, I believe, as well, on his Nexus. The biggest SOS fan in the world. GLHF coming out here from the players, very kind, very respectful. They both know this is an important matchup. For one, the winner of the single map makes $125, and also keeps their tournament hopes alive, possibly.
Yeah, definitely. Albeit difficult, I think is the correct subtitle for that, because it's going to be very tough for either of these players. Obviously, all these groups incredibly stacked. Group D is no exception. Right now, Group D, the only group with 2 players who are undefeated. Both Mana and Raynor sitting at 4-0-4-0, although they play each other. Maybe right now?
Right now, they're playing, I believe Raynor was up 1-0 when I checked.
Looks like it's tied up 1-1. Oh, man. What a series. That'll be really interesting. Anyway, so it'll end up with one player on top, but that will mean that there are only 2 players remaining in the tournament who are undefeated in maps. Unsurprisingly, if you had to guess who they were, Grant, who would you think in the EU scene was undefeated in map score so far?
Serral and Clem.
Exactly correct.
I mean, I know I'm right.
Yeah, 5-0-10-0 and 5-0-10-0 for Serral and Clem. But a lot of other amazing players here. So this is a round-robin tournament, meaning that it's only possible for one player to have a perfect record in each group.
Yep.
Group B, already no perfect records. Euthermal, Hero Marine, Drogo, Harstam, all taking losses. Yep. And Group D right now, Mana and Raynor tied up at 4-0-4-0, but that will change on their Game 3 as well.
As for this game right now, there are no proxy shenanigans. Goblin going for that Stargate once again. Now, I'm glad to see that Goblin is just reverting back to what typically has worked for him. He gets him for a scout with a probe as well. It's a very late scout, and this is actually probably going to throw ArT off, because he's like, why is there a pylon here? Why is there a probe at my side of the base right now? It looks like ArT is actually going to play for a quicker expansion. Goblin is going for an Oracle once again. Have we seen any tech just yet from ArT? No, so ArT's playing an expansion quicker build, followed up by tech. And Goblin's looking for damage.
Yeah. More than likely, we're going to see ArT expanding, and I'm guessing Twilight Council, probably Blink Stalkers. That seems to be what he's been favoring lately. He does have 1 sentry out, a couple Stalkers as well on the map. 3 Stalkers already. I'd be surprised to see him going for anything else. But, you know, I've been surprised before, and of course, Protoss is a pretty flexible builds once you get that first expansion out. So I'm curious to see what it'll do. But the first Oracle on the map now for Goblin and moving across. Do you think it's going to get damage done here? Because it's unscouted.
I think there's definitely the potential, as always. He is making a second Oracle as well. There are 2 Stalkers at the very south center of the map, although they've just moved out of position. Goblin, very, very adept with his adepts. I'm sorry, I had to.
Nice.
At pulling units out of the way. I saw the shake of the head there. Remember, you're on my screen in big, Creighton, as I make awful puns.
I think that was, yeah. You definitely saw me. It was good. It was good.
Goblin doing the same build he did in game 2. He's going to find some damage with this Oracle, though.
There's nothing home. There's no shield battery. The Stalker's out of position. There are some sentries here, but sentries don't do jack diddly as far as damage goes. 4 probes going down. A revelation going down as well. Beautifully done by ArT there. And now the second, or by Goblin, rather. And now the second Oracle coming out to join his buddy. They're going to hang out for a while. They're going to get their energy back up, and they're going to dive back. But that should be a shield battery down soon in ArT's main base, I hope. Meanwhile, Goblin expanding, grabbing a Robo. But as we said, ArT going for the Twilight Council, and we should see Blink starting up right away.
Yep, Goblin so far is in a decent spot, even in workers, just about slightly behind an army, now evening that up a little bit, but his tech is good. He's already got 2 forms of tech. He's got Robo, he's got Stargate, whereas our Protoss player is only now just getting Blink, which is his first form of tech. Goblin as well, dropping Revelations. He's really keeping track on the army. Behind this, his natural is now done, and he's going to probe, and we're looking at a mid-game, Creighton.
We definitely are, and ArT got his natural down much earlier than Goblins, of course. But with 7 probes going down to those Oracles, Goblin's going to find himself even on workers, ahead on army supply, and in a really strong position, even dropping that forge to try. My God, these Oracles still doing damage, still getting Revelations down. Anyway, Goblin dropping that forge down, feeling confident, going to be ahead on his upgrades before too long.
Yeah, and I'll anticipate we'll see Goblin throw down a Twilight Council very soon, because he doesn't have that yet, so he can move into Archon production. He's probably going to take a third at around the 6-minute mark as well, maybe a little sooner. His money is pretty good right now, his economy is great. One ahead, get more ahead. That is the name of the game right now, I believe, for Goblin. And ArT's getting his Robo as well, but as I said, Goblin's +1 already started. The Forge is just going down for ArT. Goblin has just eked out a 30-second advantage, basically, in this game.
This is wild. The Oracle's still both alive, and that is so infuriating for ArT.
Yep.
That means he can't really leave his home. He can't feel safe moving out. He has got to leave his army back there, and that means the Goblin has all the time in the world to drop down his own Twilight Council, adding on 2 gates, and the Immortal production already beginning. It looks fairly close on paper, but I think psychologically, Goblin way ahead this game.
Completely agree with you there. His immortal count as well, you can see it's 2-0 currently. ArT has way more Stalkers, but immortals are pretty good against Stalkers. Especially when the upgrade advantage kicks in. And Goblin, he still has these Oracles, he's not done. Could even come in and look for a stasis ward or something. No, just going to Revelate and move away. He should definitely take a third soon. That would be my advice right now to Goblin. Actually, he's making a lot of gateways. I think he's maybe feeling a little bit frisky for risky. And he's going to look to try and get a big... oh my God, that's so many gateways. Okay, Goblin's going for blood.
Yeah, he definitely is. 4 extra gateways going down to add on to his 4 already out. A total of 8 gates going to be on the map on 2 bases. Normally, of course, Protoss players going to save that 8 base play or 8 gate play for 3 bases. That's a little more standard. But there's no third for ArT yet either, which means he's not over-investing his infrastructure. Both players even on probes. And Goblin's upgrade is really going to be the only thing that might be the big difference in this fight, because they're both working on charge. They both have fairly even numbers of... it's 4 Immortals out for Goblin. And no Immortals out for ArT, and I think that's going to be a big difference.
Now, ArT's adding on a good few gateways himself, which will put him up to a total of... I can't do quick maths. A similar amount, 8, I think. But Goblins are already done. Goblin's thrown down a third behind this, so I actually think Goblin's maybe not going to go for the kill here anymore. I really thought he was going to for a while. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him move out with, he has +1, and try to establish pressure. Yep, that's exactly what he's going to do. Does he have an observer? Yes, because there are DTs. Has he made any defensive cannons yet? No. So Goblin has to be prepared to deal with Dark Templars in his economy, which is something he definitely doesn't have at the moment. Where are the Oracles?
That's going to be one Achilles heel of his build. We see the 4 DTs warping in for ArT on the far side of the map. They're going to have to walk their way all the way across. The Warp Prism for Goblin did just pop out, though. And yeah, DT's dropping into the main now, and he's going to have... There's nothing here. There's the Observer on its way out of the Robo. But he could depower this Robo if he was quick about it. if he's quick about it, he can depower. He's not going to depower the Robo server. He's going to get out. Second DT might be able to do it. Oh, this is going to be so close, Grant. I think he's going to do it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh!
Observer comes out a couple of oracles will come home to defend. Goblin still has more on the front. He's supply blocked his opponent. You can see his supply is very, very healthy as well. Army supply 70 to 47, and that number's about to grow as the prism is done. Goblin's lost a lot of workers though. He has to even up the damage. He cannot just let this go as it was. And Goblin looking for a fight right now. The immortal count is so big. What is Goblin going to do here?
Yeah, what is he going to do? Indeed, he doesn't have anything back home. This DT's just tearing through his third base, tearing through his economy, down to 32 workers. He's got to attack, and he's got to do so sooner rather than later. The longer the game goes on, the better things are going to look for ArT. I like the revelation on those DTs. I mean, they're not cloaked anymore. But the third base from the army from Goblin just sitting outside the third base right now. DTs dropping in the main. They're still visible, but there's an observer here, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But the War Prism going, and Goblin should be queuing up for a big fight. But there's a lot of Archons out now for ArT.
Yeah, Goblin's trying to find a better angle here, and ArT's trying to defend in the batteries with a super battery. Whatever happens, it's going to be a very, very close fight, but Goblin really needs to win this right now. He is down 13 workers in a mirror matchup. Upgrades are even and will be for a while, but ArT is going to take over in upgrades in like 1 minute. Goblin is on a timer right now. The DTs have forced this on him. A recall coming in on just a couple of the DTs. Oh, and the Prism, I believe, actually.
Yeah.
But behind this Goblin, he's supply blocked, and he's quite supply blocked. But what can he do? He's going to kill an observer here, which is a nice start. Goblin now getting surrounded. One of the immortals already quite weak. He's trying to take a fight here. He's going to juggle his immortals in the prism. That is his hope here. That is his condition. A blink forward, but actually it's not good enough to take down the prism in time. Oracle's coming in. The prism finally goes down, and Creighton, what's going on in this fight?
There are too many Archons, and that's the real problem right now. The Zealots in front for ArT helping out quite a bit. Now the Prism's gone, though. Goblin's going to be forced to recall back home, and ArT did so well in that fight. Goblin simply did not engage properly. He had some Zealots in the back that weren't attacking. He had his Immortals trapped back. Some of them weren't attacking. His Archon was bouncing around, not really focus firing very well. And ArT just getting a superior concave, superior Archon number. He just played that fight perfectly, and now he's in such a good position. He loses 7 probes behind this Goblin, evening up the probe count, but with no third base down. Goblin's in a real problem. ArT can grab his third base, and those DTs from ArT really saving his life.
The BTs in this game are the only reason that ArT is actually still alive right now. Now, Goblin has done a good job of keeping the probe count pretty even, and ArT's third is ahead, but he sniped it. He did what he kind of needed to do in that first fight, and if Goblin can find just a little bit more damage, the game is still wide open because the Oracles have just done so much. Workers killed, Goblin's killed 19, ArT's killed 16. Goblin's still got all of the Immortals, but he's now down an upgrade and soon to be 2 upgrades. There's +3 already on the way here for ArT.
Yeah, that's going to be the huge difference. It looks like Goblin is not getting that upgrade. I'm not sure if he just doesn't have enough gas income. I think going so heavy into the Archons late in the game now, and ArT of course has been mining gas a little bit longer than he has. So ArT checks for the third base, doesn't see it, and should feel very confident about his position now. He's a little behind in army supply, but since he's up on the upgrades and he's got so many Archons still out, he should feel very strong about it.
Yeah, and the longer this game goes, of course, the worse it is going to get for the Croatian Protoss from Team ArT. Because he is not scaling that well. He's in terms of army, his army's great, but it is just +1 against +2, soon to be +3. And ArT's army is only going to get stronger. He's mining from that third now, and things are looking rough. The Archon count 10 to 5.
Yeah, ArT needs to get these gases down sooner rather than later. His mineral income seems okay, but it's not like he wants to work in a bunch of Zealots or anything. Of course, he just wants to keep getting in those Archons. Needs a few Zealots in the front line, but Goblin's army is very Zealot heavy right now. 15 Zealots, the only 9 of ArT. And like you said, those Archons in the background. As long as the Zealots buy them enough time, the Archons can do massive damage. So we're going to see Goblin posturing into the third here, but I think ArT's ready for this. He's going to have Defender's advantage again in this fight. Only 1 shield battery. I'd like to see another shield battery a little further forward, but he does have battery overcharge available, and Goblin would be a fool to take this fight. He'd be a fool.
Yeah, unfortunately for Goblin, time is running out. +3 getting closer and closer. I'm not sure if he knows about it, but he's trying to find something. He's just looking for a way back into this game, and the supplies are not fully indicative of what's going on right now because Goblin is down in workers. He is soon to be down 2 upgrades. He's going into the main right now. There's already a cannon to defend against these Oracles, sorry, and he just...
And there's no cannon at Goblin's third, which is going down to these DTs. There's a pylon on the north side that ArT has snuck in. behind this. So the third base is going to go down to those DTs. It's going to be a little bit late for the save, I think, and the Zealot's going to be just barely not in time. Kill! Not a cancel on that base. The DT is going to get out with their lives. Goblin falling apart a bit here, and ArT really showing us he's a great player, but I like this play from Goblin. Try to sneak into the main base, maybe force a recall, and get something done with these Archons.
Yeah, he's trying his best, but a warping is going to be enough to push him away here. Goblin's Prism is already quite low, and unfortunately, he just hasn't got enough to commit. He is now down 2 upgrades, and it is growing as armor beginning here for the Zealots and Stalkers of ArT. Finally, 360 comes in.
Oh man, a stasis ward on the north side actually blocking out a lot of these Archons, and that's going to screw up ArT's game plan. ArT really wanted to attack on both sides and sort of close in from the left and right like a hinge onto Goblin's army. But he was slowed down enough, but